Wanted to show you a little talk that I like to do all about Prezi. So like I said, what's the big deal about Prezi? So the big deal about Prezi is this, that the way that we normally put together PowerPoint presentations or give talks or whatever is that we do so where the information goes from one slide to the next, that we're stuck in this linear mode of thinking. So it goes from one point of view to the next point of view. And it turns out that even most Prezi presentations are still stuck in the same old linear method of presenting. And the problem with that is that it really hasn't changed since the late 1800s when we first started doing slide decks using slide projectors, and in the olden days using candles to project the material off of the mirror onto the screen. And so the thing that's great about Prezi is that you can zoom in to focus your idea on some specific detail, and then once you've done that, you can then zoom back out to provide the bigger picture, so that you can demonstrate to your audience the the details of what you're talking about, and then you can pan back and show kind of the big picture, just like I did here. And so I can pan back even further. And so anyway, that's why Prezi is cool. So how do you actually go about creating a Prezi? So Prezi is created, first of all, it is web-based. So there is no software to install. There's no software to worry about. It is all completely cloud and web-based. So the way that you create a Prezi is you fire up your web browser. When you're thinking about putting together Prezi, one of the things that you want to think about is you want to think about what is the main topic that you are trying to convey. What's the main thing that you're talking about? So in my case, I was thinking about, thinking. And so I thought, the Rodin sculpture garden, as a Rodin sculpture of the man, the thinker, was a good idea to think on this. And then you want to think about all of the things that are related to your main idea. And you want to then search for pictures that are related to said idea. So as we mentioned before, you want to make sure that you only use pictures that are in the public domain, or that you have created yourself, or that you've otherwise gotten permission to use. So when I was doing this slide deck, I went on to the Wikimedia Commons. I did a search for the Rodin thinker, found a bunch of pictures of the Rodin thinker, picked the one that I liked the best, and then I also went on to Flickr to see if Flickr had any better pictures, and then I picked the one that I wanted to use. And then what you do is you just jump right into Prezi and start creating your Prezi. So to sign up for a Prezi account, you can sign up for a Prezi account. The way that you sign up for a Prezi account traditionally would be to go to Prezi.com. And when you go to Prezi.com, well, I'm logged in, but if I weren't logged in, you would then click on to the Get Started button. However, because we are education people, you can sign up for the education account instead. So instead of going into the main one, I recommend going to prezi.com/signup/edu/standard. And the reason for that is this, that if I go into the main one, the basic free one that you just have the basics, you can just create your stuff and you can have unlimited presentations, but you don't have any privacy control, and you don't have any of these other things that you have to pay for normally in order to get. But if I go in on the education route, and again, the education would be signup/edu. And then was it standard? I think, yeah. this will then ask me to put in my, my EDU email address. So you have to use the email address that City College has provided to you. So if you haven't yet signed up for your San Jose City College email address, like I mentioned in week 1, you might want to sign up for a San Jose City College email address among the other things that it provides you, other than getting free access to Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and access, is that you can also sign up for other stuff and get educational rates at the because you're proving that you're an educational person. And then once you've done that, then you would verify. You click on a verify. When you click on a verify, you get an email from them, and then in that email you click on it to confirm, and that's how they verify that you are in fact an educational person. So in terms of the educational one, if I click on the education, the Edu Plus is $7 a month, and you get all of the stuff. The Edu Free, I think, is similar to what the basic is, but I know that there are a couple of other features that they give you, but I'm not seeing what they are right at the moment. Anyway, so that is in a nutshell what Prezi is. One of the things is that personally I prefer the classic version of Prezi to the newer version of Prezi. Although the newer version of Prezi is okay, but I think I like the classic version of Prezi better. And although it's no longer available by default, you can go to prezi.com/instant-prezi, and if you do that, then it will let you use classic. It will create a classic in your account. Let me see. I think that's all of the stuff I really wanted to show you on that, and then I wanted to show you what it really looks like. Yeah. So this is what it looks like in terms of inside of Prezi. This is that entire Prezi presentation inside of Prezi, and this is again the entire. So absolutely everything in Prezi is built on this gigantic canvas on which you can store your various different stuff. So you don't create slides like we do in PowerPoint. So in PowerPoint, we put in slide number 1 and slide number 2 and slide number 3 and slide number 4 and so on. What we do for Prezi instead is that we create a frame and we say, this is going to be, zone 1, and then this is the second link, and this is the third link, and then it will automatically do that zooming in and zooming out based on where those frames are located. So in my case here, if you zoom in all the way over here, this is where I am talking about Prezi, and that original, the original slide, if you will, was right here. And then up over in here is where I talked about how Prezi is different from, or that the way that we currently, traditional stuff, and most Prezis are stuck in the same. It's all in this one gigantic canvas. So there are a couple of downsides, I think, with Prezi. Downside number 1 is that it takes forever to build a Prezi. So if I were to build this this slide deck that I went through in PowerPoint, it'd probably take me about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. It took me about 4 hours to put together the Prezi version of it. The other thing is that I think that Prezi is really great at showing big overview ideas and then delving into some specifics and then delving back. So I think it's perfect for things like I don't know, you're a company and you're having a reorganization, and so you want to show, here's where the jobs used to be, and here's where the people that used to be over here, they're now doing this. I think that type of a thing, Prezi is good, is really good for. I think that Prezi is really good at showing people how to do stuff. So how to play a game, you know, or how to put together something. You can zoom in on the specific and then zoom out onto the overall picture and then zoom back in on some second specific and then zoom back out to show some other details. That's what I think Prezi is really good for. In your Canvas, I have a couple of links related to Prezi. So if I log myself in, I can point them out. So in our Office class, and then I take a look at it. So in Pages, I have a page that I set up called Prezi, a new approach to presentations. And in this new Prezi, a new approach to presentations, I copied and pasted the content on it of the slide, but then down at the bottom, there's a little handout that I created called Handout on Using Prezi Classic. And this handout is a PDF that talks about how to use Prezi in 27 pages. And so I talk a little bit about what is Prezi, why not PowerPoint, talks a little bit about how you use it. And again, I think PowerPoint is really great for conveying data and conveying linear step-by-step concepts. And I think Prezi is great for talking about large-scale concepts and showing connections between the minute details of a particular concept and the main idea. But otherwise, I think PowerPoint is fine. I like PowerPoint quite a bit, but I also like Prezi. And it just kind of depends on what it is that I'm actually doing. And then I talk about it and talk about how to get it, and then to create it, I talk a little bit about how you can create. And again, this is primarily focused on Prezi Classic, because I think Classic is a little bit easier to use, at least for novices. And it talks about how to add content and edit content and add links and create the frames and insert pictures and insert diagrams and all of the things that you can put together in Prezi. So if you're interested in Prezi, that is that's kind of an overview, nutshell demonstration of it. If I log in, I can show you. So if I wanted to create a new Prezi, the way that I would do it is by going, again, I prefer to use Prezi Classic. So I would go into Prezi Classic. And when I go into Prezi Classic, I can then create a new presentation by clicking onto New Presentation. And when I click on a new presentation, it will then open it up, and it will allow me to either use an existing template or to just start a blank Prezi. And then where it says click to add text, I click to add text and say, this is neat. And I say, this is also neat. And if I want to zoom in, I can use my mouse and the wheel on my mouse to zoom in. And so I could go into the A inside of neat. And I could say inside of this, inside of here, I could insert another frame inside of there. And in this frame, I could change the type of the frame to just an invisible frame if I wanted to be invisible, or a bracket frame if I wanted to have square brackets around it, or a rectangle if I wanted a rectangle around it. And then I could say, you know, I could zoom in on this and I could say, wowzers, something like that. And anytime I want to add something over to the path, I can click on to edit path, and I could then make sure it gets either removed or added by clicking onto it. If I click on a home, it zooms back out. I could say, you know, you do this. So, and then I could rearrange it. So I could say that first we're going to do that, then we're going to do that, then we'll do this, and then we'll do wowzers, and then maybe we'll come back to that. So that now that I've created this little Prezi, I could click on to present, and it will start my Prezi. It'll zoom into that. We'll zoom into that, get zoomed into that, and then zoomed back out into this. There's my super awesome Prezi, which of course is really not that awesome, but yeah, still. So like I said, it takes a long time to build, and it's but I think it's pretty cool. And to encourage you to try it out, one of the things that I have done is that for our class, there is, in the assignments area for us, there should be, I don't know if I published it yet. I think I haven't published it yet because I think I wanted to show you it first. So I'm going to leave the student view and I'm going to go into the teacher view, and I'm going to publish the Prezi extra credit. So the Prezi extra credit assignment is that if you want, you can get 10 extra bonus points by signing up for a Prezi, create a simple Prezi presentation, and then share it with me. If you do that, you'll get 10 more bonus points. So that was, that's the stuff that I wanted to talk about. Questions? So again, read through the little Prezi handout. Again, to get to the Prezi handout, you just want to go into Pages. And when you go into Pages, it's in Prezi, a new approach to presentations. And then down at the bottom, there is the classic Prezi handout, and that will help walk you through how to create a Prezi. And again, in order to create a Prezi using Prezi Classic, you just need to, when you sign up for Prezi, you just need to sign up and say, like I said on the thing, you just need to go to prezi.com/instant-prezi after you sign up to use Prezi Classic. So going to that web page will generate a classic Prezi setting for you.